What's going on, guys? HK Titan here with a brand new video for you guys. But first things first, as always, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today's video, we are going to be jumping into something new. We are going to be jumping into a 2 towers chimps strategy. So we just had the Dartling Gunner release, and all of the upgrade paths for the Dartling Gunner are absolutely amazing. I've done a 2 tower chimps with the Ray of Doom, with the MAD, and the Balloon Exclusion Zone itself. The easiest one to do is going to be the Balloon Exclusion Zone. Second easiest is going to be the MAD, and of course the hardest is going to be the Ray of Doom, because you cannot afford to buy the Ray of Doom all the way until round 98. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the easiest one first, and I'll go ahead and work my way up to the Ray of Doom in a future video and all that fun stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Alright, so one thing I did want to say: do not be scared to home reset whenever you're doing this strategy, because unlike chimps, it's not going to affect your 2 towers chimps achievement progress if you home reset. And if you guys are unfamiliar by what I mean with the home reset, it's just by pressing home and then going back into logs and continuing chimps. So as long as you only have 2 towers on the field when you beat chimps, you will definitely get the 2 tower chimps achievement. So now that we went ahead and covered that, let's go ahead and get started here. So the first round that we're going to want to pay attention to is going to be round 8. And I will make sure to explain to you the process that we're going to do on round 8 to make sure that our Wizard Monkey is able to deal with round 8 itself. So the first upgrade that we're going to be going with is we're going to be going with the Intense Magic. Following the Intense Magic, round 8 is going to come along, and then we're going to need to do a little bit of target swapping here, but not too much. Again, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you guys to go ahead and beat. And to be completely honest, this is definitely the easiest 2 tower chimps that I've ever seen. Now, when it comes to the Dartling Gunner, there is going to be a little bit of micro that you guys need to do on certain rounds. And I'll do my best to try and explain to you what you need to do, but for the most part, it's not that hard. So here we are, guys, on round 8. The balloons that you need to pay attention to is this rush of green balloons that come out behind this little group of reds. And what we're going to do is we're going to swap it over to strong as soon as the green balloons make it to this bottom left hand corner here. And then once the last green balloon, or once this, not the last green balloon, but once this blue balloon makes it to this corner here, we're going to go ahead and swap over to first. That way our Wizard Monkey can go ahead and deal with all of these balloons, and we can go ahead and finish off round 8 with no issues. Now that we can afford to buy a Fireball, we're going to go ahead and upgrade our Wizard to a 0-1-1, and then we should be good to go. Alright, so again, guys, there is going to be a little bit of micro at the start of the game because we are going to be saving up for the Balloon Exclusion Zone. And once we get it to the tier 4, that's when we can go ahead and relax. Or once we get the Prince of Darkness, that's when we can relax a little bit as well. But for the most part, the hardest part is just getting past the, I think, up to round 59. That's when we should be able to afford the Prince of Darkness, or somewhere around there, because of course we want to get the Prince of Darkness going as soon as possible. Following the Prince of Darkness, that's when we're going to upgrade the Dartling Gunner up to the tier 4. Alright, perfect. What we're doing right now is we are going to be saving up for the Wall of Fire. As soon as we can afford to buy the Wall of Fire, of course we're going to go ahead and do so. And again, guys, I can't say it enough. Do not be scared to do a home reset if the balloons become a little bit uncontrollable and a couple end up slipping through, because of course the main objective is to get you guys your 2 tower chimps achievement. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Awesome, fantastic, and amazing. So again, the next upgrade path that we are saving up to buy is we are going to be saving up for the Wall of Fire, which we should be able to afford here in just a second. Alright. Just a little bit more money. We should be able to afford it towards the end of this round, and then we're going to be setting pretty. Now, again, guys, there is a little bit of RNG involved here. So as you guys can see, this red balloon was about to slip through. So we're going to do a quick home reset, and then we're going to go ahead and start that round over. We're not going to change anything. We're not going to add a tower or anything crazy like that. We are going to rely on this Wizard Monkey to actually deal with all of these balloons. We're mainly relying on the Wizard Monkey's center tiered ability to pop a couple of the green balloons. As long as we can get the Wizard Monkey to target some of the green balloons and get them pop before they reach this top portion here, then we're going to be set. As you guys can see, this round went completely different than the previous time that we just attempted to go through. So again, guys, because we are dealing with the center tiered Wizard Monkey, there is a little bit of RNG at play. Alright, so now that we have the Wizard Monkey upgraded to Wall of Fire and Monkey Sense, the next thing that we're going to be going for is we are going to be going for the Dartling Gunner. So we are going to keep things moving at a relatively quick pace because I don't want to make this guide super long. So of course we are going to be adding some speedy bits to the guide itself, and I'll try to do my best to kind of explain to you guys the process before I actually do the speedy bits, because like I said, there is going to be a little bit of a micro involved. And for the most part, it's not too hard. It's actually pretty straightforward. It's all about just like following the balloons with your mouse or with your finger if you guys are playing on mobile. Alright, so we should be able to afford the Dartling Gunner here in just 1 second, and we'll go ahead and slow it down for just a second. Alright, so with this Dartling Gunner, we are going to place this Dartling Gunner in the bottom left-hand corner here, and then we're going to swap it to lock targeting up in the top left. So now we can go ahead and fast forward it a little bit, and then we should be good to hook. Now, once we start getting up till round 30 plus, that's when we're going to go ahead and switch things up just a touch, and we're going to micro it because I don't want any balloons to slip through, because round 30 plus can get a little bit complicated, because once we upgrade the Dartling Gunner to buckshot, the Dartling Gunner cannot fire as fast, and the period in between the time that he shoots is actually a lot longer. So just to make sure that our Dartling Gunner is able to deal with all of the balloons paired with the Wizard Monkey itself, we do want to micro just a touch. And again, guys, don't be scared of the micro. It's actually pretty straightforward. It's pretty much just following the front balloon with your mouse or your finger itself. Alright, so there's faster swivel. Then we'll go ahead and buy powerful darts as soon as we can afford to buy it. I also wanted to explain to you guys why I placed the Dartling Gunner right here, and it's because we want the buckshot, as soon as we upgrade to the buckshot, to hit as many balloons as it possibly can, or the balloons actually make it down to our Wizard Monkey itself. Alright, perfect. Now, as soon as we can afford to buy powerful darts, we're going to go ahead and buy them, which it should be here in just 1 second. I believe about a quarter of the way through this round, that's when we should be able to afford it. There we go. There's our powerful darts, and we should be chilling. Again, guys, do not, like I said, I'm going to say this a lot, do not be scared to home reset if you guys don't have the luck with the Wizard Monkey itself. Because, again, the Wall of Fire is completely RNG. There is no guaranteed way to get it to place where you want it to place. So, as long as you get decent placement with your Wizard Monkey itself, then you guys should not struggle whatsoever. And remember, guys, you can also do a micro with your Dartling Gunner itself. So, feel free to take it off of locked and turn it onto normal and pop as many balloons as you guys want. There's no reason to have it on locked itself. The only reason why I have it on locked is because, again, I'm trying to make this guide as easy as possible for you guys to follow. Alright, we should be able to afford the buckshot here in just 1 second. Now, the longest part of this guide is going to be the first couple of rounds, because I am going to be microing, so I do want you guys to watch a little bit of the micro to see, or the microing with the Dartling Gunner, and see how I actually do it. That way you guys can try and do your best to mimic it. Of course, this would be a lot easier if you guys played it on slow. There's no reason to play it on fast. The only reason that I am playing it on fast is, again, to make sure this guide isn't super long, or isn't super long. Alright, guys, so as you guys can see, I am swapping the Dartling Gunner over to where it is affecting a majority of the map. Any balloons that do end up slipping through our Wizard Monkey are going to be targeted by our Dartling Gunner itself. Alright, so now you guys are going to be able to see why you need to micro the buckshot, because the fire rate on this bad boy is really slow. In order to make sure that you're popping as many balloons, just try and find that sweet spot to where you're popping balloons in the back as well as you're popping the balloons in the front. Of course, now because these are all lead balloons, we need to rely on our Wizard Monkey to pop them. Next thing that we need to do is we're going to upgrade our Wizard Monkey to the Necromancer Unpopped Army. So as soon as we can afford to buy the Necromancer Unpopped Army, we're going to go ahead and do so. If I'm not mistaken, we should be able to afford to buy it on round 39. Because we have a lot of lead balloons here, we're going to go ahead and try our best to pay attention to where the balloons are in the front. That way our buckshot can go ahead and deal with a majority of these balloons. Alright, cool. So we're going to go ahead and lock our Dartling Gunner back into place. That way we can go ahead and pay attention to when we have enough money to buy the Necromancer Unpopped Army. That way we can get a couple of balloons in his reserves here before round 40. Alright, so now round 40 is going to hit. We're going to go ahead and micro the Dartling Gunner here to go ahead and pop this Moab balloon as fast as we possibly can. And then just finish off these balloons that come out of the Moab itself. Alright guys, for the most part, now that we have the Necromancer Unpopped Army, we are going to be setting extremely good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of a fast forward bit all the way to the point where we can afford to buy the Prince of Darkness, and I'll go ahead and bring you guys back really quick. Alright guys, it is round 50, so I'm going to go ahead and slow things down just a touch to help our Wizard Monkey deal with this Moab balloon. Because unfortunately, the Necromancer Unpopped Army was having a little bit of a hard time with it. So again, we're just trying to do enough damage to the Moab balloon to pop it. That way our Necromancer Unpopped Army can deal with the rest of the balloons that come out of it. Alright, perfect. We almost have this blue Moab popped, so as soon as we pop it, we are going to be good to hook. Awesome. So we can go ahead and speed things back up again. And I'm going to try and lock it back in place here, but it shouldn't take us too much longer to afford the Prince of Darkness. Alright, let's go ahead and lock it back in place. Perfect. Now, as you guys can see, we can't afford to buy the Balloon Area Denial system, but again, I do want to afford the Prince of Darkness first, because the Prince of Darkness is a guaranteed win against round 63 and all of that fun stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not microing against the Moab balloons, which we should be fine. The Necromancer Unpopped Army is a very good tower, plus we only need a little bit more money in order to afford the Prince of Darkness itself. And as soon as we can afford the Prince of Darkness, we're going to do a pretty big fast forward point to probably round 80. Once we upgrade the Dartling Gunner to the Balloon Area Defense. Alright, so this might be a home reset here. Yeah, so I'm gonna home reset really quick because I got a little bit distracted there and we didn't pop any of the Moab balloons. Alright, so round 53, we need to pay attention to the Moab balloons. We're going to go ahead and swap this over to normal. That way we can go ahead and do damage against the Moab balloons themselves, because as you guys saw, the Necromancer had no balloons left in its graveyard in order to deal with the Moab balloons themselves. Which is kind of a bummer, but kind of expected, because the Necromancer Unpopped Army does not have a bunch of balloons in its reserve. So just to make sure that we're able to deal with these, we're going to go ahead and try to do our best to do a lot of damage to these Moab balloons so our Necromancer can finish off these balloons. Awesome. There we go. We can go ahead and switch this back over to lock and then buy the Prince of Darkness on round 54. And now that we have the Prince of Darkness, now we are 112% golden. We don't need to worry about round 63. We don't need to worry about any of those big rounds. We don't even need to really worry about round 60. Even though we're probably going to need to do a little bit of micro if we cannot afford to buy the Balloon Area Denial system. But if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to afford to buy the balloon area denial system before round 60. But we only have 4 rounds left to go. So we'll go ahead and save up the 13k to go ahead and afford that. And then we will be good to hook all the way up until round 80. Alright, awesome. As you guys can see, the Prince of Darkness is doing an amazing job against these Moab balloons as well as these ceramic balloons themselves. Making easy work of these a little bit more difficult rounds. Alright, perfect. We only need another 3,000 and we have 2 rounds to get it. We need 3,000 pretty much exactly. We are officially at 10,000. We are at 11,000. Come on, guys. We only need another 2,000 this round. I think we might need a micro on round 60. Yep, so unfortunately we're just a little bit short, so we're going to go ahead and micro against this BFB before to go ahead and make sure that the Prince of Darkness can deal with the blue Moabs. I don't even know what I was worried about. The Prince of Darkness is a super good tower. Alright, now that we have the Dartling Gunner upgraded to the balloon area denial system, we're going to go ahead and switch its targeting over to target independent. And now the next thing that we're going to do is we are just going to chill all the way up until round 80. Then I'll go ahead and bring you guys back on round 80. Alright guys, we are officially reaching the end of round 79, and as you guys can see, this is why this is probably going to be the easiest 2-tower chimps that has ever been available for Balloons Tower Defense 6. So now that we are on round 80, we are going to go ahead and swap our Dartling Gunner over to targeting normal, and we're going to go ahead and micro against this ZOMG. Because we want to make sure that we are popping this ZOMG and popping the BFBs on the inside, allowing our Prince of Darkness to get its zombified BFBs and zombified Moabs back as well. Perfect. Awesome. So that wasn't hard at all to deal with. We're going to go ahead and swap our Dartling Gunner over back to targeting independent. And we are getting really close to being able to afford the balloon exclusion zone. So the reason why round 80 gave me a little bit of a hard time is because when I did my first few practice runs through this, in order to find like the placement that works the best, as well as what towers you need to upgrade when and all of that fun stuff, when I did the practice run, my Prince of Darkness had 0 reserve balloons in his little graveyard here. So it made round 80 a little bit more difficult to deal with, if that kind of makes sense. But because the Prince of Darkness did have a couple of balloons left in his graveyard, we actually had a super easy time in dealing with round 80. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the point where we have the $64,000 to go ahead and buy the balloon exclusion zone. Alright guys, that was super quick. It is round 85 and we can officially afford to buy the balloon exclusion zone. Now that we have the balloon exclusion zone, we are in the clear all the way up until round 89. Not 89, round 99. Because the reinforced DDTs come in at the same time as reinforced Moab balloons. And we need the balloon exclusion zone to pop the Moab balloons to supply the Prince of Darkness with the zombified balloons in order to pop the reinforced DDTs. Because the reinforced DDTs are a bit much for the Prince of Darkness to deal with without that extra bit of balloons that the Prince of Darkness gets from the Moab balloons that the balloon exclusion zone pops. But I'll be sure to go over it more. If I'm not mistaken, we should be good all the way up until round 99. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. Again, guys, I'm going to say it one more time. Do not be afraid to home reset if the balloons make it too far. All right, that's something that I cannot stress enough, because round 95 might get a bit close, and round 99 is definitely going to be super close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward all the way till round 99. If we have a point where we need to home reset, I'll go ahead and bring you guys back. Alright guys, it is officially round 99. We're going to go ahead and switch our Dartling Gunner over to normal, because we need the Dartling Gunner to pop all of these Moab balloons, and then we need the Dartling Gunner to also pop the reinforced ceramic balloons that come out of some of these DDTs. As you guys can see, alright, so we're going to go ahead and do a home reset really quick. Because the Prince of Darkness did not have enough balloons in its reserve, because our Dartling Gunner popped a little bit too many. So again, guys, it may take a couple of tries for you guys to actually get it right. I know the first time that I did it, it took me a few tries to get it perfected. But all right, so again, guys, do not be afraid to home reset and give this a couple of tries, because we definitely just spent the last better part of 30 minutes beating this strategy. So feel free to take the time to make sure that you guys get it right. All right, so let's go ahead and press play. We're going to go ahead and do our best to try and leave as many ceramic balloons for our Prince of Darkness to pop as we possibly can. All right, so let's go ahead and make sure that we're dealing or popping these Moab balloons. And perfect. So the Prince of Darkness should have enough left in his tanks to deal with the reinforced Moab or reinforced DDTs. There we go. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to see. But again, guys, it's just about popping the blue Moab balloons and allowing our Prince of Darkness to refill his graveyard enough to spawn enough of these undead BFBs in order to pop the reinforced DDTs. So it may take you guys a couple of tries, but do your best to only pop the Moab balloons and leave the ceramic balloons that are inside of the Moab balloon for the Prince of Darkness to pop himself. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys found this guide helpful. This was a super easy 2 Towers Chimps. I will be getting into the 2 Towers Chimps Mad Dartling Gunner in the next video. Following that, I will be doing the Ray of Doom. Of course, the Ray of Doom is going to be all about micro, because there is no target independent or anything crazy like that. I'll do my best to try and make sure that I make the guide super easy to follow for you guys as well. But anyways, guys, again, I hope you really enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to hit that like button. And of course, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to subscribe as well. I do upload quite a bit of Bloons Tower Defense 6 videos. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys have the most amazing day of your lives, and I will see you guys in the next one.